This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
It is 5 o'clock here on your Tuesday. Good morning to you. I'm Lauren Casey. Here's what's making headlines on this April 14th. Police are investigating after a deadly triple shooting on the northeast side of the city. What we are learning about the victims involved. The call is being made for people who have recovered from the coronavirus to now help others. Why IU Health says their plasma could help fight and control the virus in the future. And with more people staying home for social distancing, there's more pressure on your plumbing. How a local plumber is handling the surge in emergency calls. But first, we do want to get a check of your Storm Team 6 forecast on this Tuesday. I want to check in with Todd Clausen reporting from home. Todd, we know today is a chilly one out there, not what we're hoping for this time of the year.
Yeah, not at all. Especially, remember last week on Tuesday and Wednesday, we were talking about high temperatures near 80 degrees. And here we are this morning talking about a freeze warning that's in place across all of central Indiana. And that's because of these temperatures. You see 31 behind me here in Indianapolis, but you get outside of Indianapolis and especially to the north, we're looking at temperatures that are in the 20s across parts of the area. So it's colder to the north than it is to the south, but not by much. 25 in Peru. That is a hard freeze for this time of year. 32 in Bloomington, and here in southern locations there's a little more in the way of cloud cover, so it's running us a little bit warmer, but nonetheless, here is the freeze warning that is in place across the entire area. This will be a several-day event. We'll have the freeze warning today. Tomorrow, one will go into place as well. We've been trying to clear out a little bit, and we'll have some sunshine here throughout the day today, especially in the morning hours, but I think we'll kind of toggle back and forth between partly to mostly cloudy skies. The problem today, just the temperatures. We're not going to warm much at all. We're looking at a temperature of about 41 degrees by the noon hour with highs, Lauren, only topping off in the mid-40s.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. We're keeping a close eye on traffic this morning. No crashes to report around the metro area, so that is good news. You can see a live look here at I-65 and I-70 at the North Split. Really quiet at this early hour, but keep in mind eastbound I-70 is now officially closed for that major NDOT project between this spot and I-465 on the east side. You'll see signs posted. A number of the on-ramps around the downtown area are also closed as well, so you may need to reroute. Luckily, traffic is pretty light, so you should be on your way. You can use 65 and 465 to reroute around the city, especially if you are a truck driver. New from overnight, one man is dead and a juvenile is now in critical condition. This follows a shooting on the city's northeast side. It all happened at the Postbrook East Apartments just off East 42nd Street before 1 o'clock this morning. When officers arrived, they found two male victims. The adult man was pronounced dead at the scene. The juvenile was taken to the hospital in critical condition. Officers tell us a third victim drove himself to the hospital. He's currently in stable condition. Right now, no suspect information has been given. The incident is still under investigation. We begin this morning with the latest on the COVID-19 ongoing impact here in the Hoosier State. The Indiana State Department of Health reports 7 more deaths, bringing the total number in our state to 350. Indiana has recorded more than 8,200 cases. More than 3,000 of those are confirmed right here in Marion County. Indiana health officials now believe the surge in COVID-19 cases will come later than initially expected. Instead of mid to late April, they believe it'll now be late April to early May. That change means the stay-at-home orders will likely be extended past May 1st. Fox said that Marion County's surge will likely come first and then the rest of the state. This morning, a call to action from IU Health to anyone who has beat COVID-19. The hospital is looking for survivors to donate their plasma, which they say could be filled with antibodies that could potentially fight this virus. Our Kelsey Anderson is joining us live this morning with all the details. And Kelsey, tell us, has this method been used before?
Yeah, Lauren, it has been used before. We used it during the SARS epidemic, and during H1N1 with relatively good success. So they're hoping that this investigative method will save a lot of lives if it works. That's why they want anyone who has survived COVID-19 to look into donating plasma. If you've beaten the virus, you are filled with antibodies that can help others to fight off the virus. Dr. Nicholas Barrows says if this works, a lot of lives will be saved.
We can get those antibodies within the plasma of patients that have recovered from COVID-19 and infuse them into patients that are struggling with COVID-19.
This investigative treatment method is being rolled out across the country, and donors must be able to prove they had a COVID-19 diagnosis with a positive documented laboratory test. They must also be symptom-free for at least 28 days. Now, if you are someone who has beaten COVID-19 and wants to donate your plasma, head over to theindychannel.com for more information on how to do that. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
All right, Kelsey, thank you so much. The time right now is 5:05. The Indiana Department of Correction has reported 75 cases of the coronavirus in state prisons. 48 of those are IDOC staff members and 27 are inmates. The department says that they're following their preparedness and response plan to stop the spread. That includes separating ill offenders, social distancing, and cross-training employees for staff shortages. While some businesses have come to a screeching halt amid the coronavirus stay-at-home order, others are ramping up services due to the circumstances. Our Alyssa Donovan spoke to a local business owner who says their phones will not stop ringing.
People on the front lines of the COVID-19 outbreak are working quite a bit these days. And there are some other essential workers that are also putting in extra hours. Since the stay-at-home order, plumbers are doing a lot more emergency calls.
That if we don't get to these calls today, they are either going to not be able to use a kitchen sink or not be able to flush a toilet or not take a hot shower.
Jack Hope, owner of Hope Plumbing, says his crews are running to twice as many calls since the stay-at-home order went into place.
We have way more emergency calls, a whole lot of clogged drains, just because people are home and they're using their systems way more than they're used to. They're maxing out capacities. They're turning water on and off. The kids are turning water on and off.
Normally, around 40 to 50% of the calls they receive are considered emergency. But now, Hope says 90% of the calls for technicians are emergent. And with all of the running around, crews are taking precautions to keep themselves and customers safe.
Putting on gloves and then washing and wiping down areas as we move through the house.
And since Hope Plumbing is one of the businesses that doesn't have to worry about their bottom line during the stay-at-home order, they are trying to encourage people to patron other small businesses, like restaurants.
We've got a running coupon right now where if you purchase food from a local restaurant, we will take your receipt and use it as a coupon towards our services. So if you go to like Yukio, for example, and buy $40 worth of carryout, you can just show us that receipt and we'll give you $40 off your invoice.
Hope says there are a few pieces of advice that he wants to give people at this time to hopefully avoid making that emergency phone call to either him or another plumber in the area. One of those pieces of advice, keep an eye on the kids. Make sure they're not putting anything down the drain that shouldn't be down there. And know where your water shutoff valve is. In case there is a problem, you can turn it off yourself and prevent major damage. I'm Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Alyssa, thank you. The time right now is 5:08. A community with some of the strictest guidelines for businesses during this pandemic is starting to ease up on some of their restrictions. Howard County commissioners had ordered all non-essential businesses to close, but now some of those businesses can reopen. That includes low-risk businesses like lawn care, pet groomers, and dry cleaning. We talked to a Kokomo flower shop owner who says the process is all about surviving.
It's been rough for us, and other business owners in the community. We're just trying to make enough money to pay the bills and get through this.
Well, with the remaining restrictions, Jefferson House Floral cannot open to the public, but it's doing no contact delivery. Howard County currently has 50 confirmed cases of COVID-19. County health officials say their safety measures have been working and continue to encourage social distancing. Even though the Indianapolis Public Library is closed due to the pandemic, they are still helping kids read. The library is teaming up with the YMCA of Greater Indianapolis to deliver books to kids. They took the books to the Wise Daycare Center for kids whose parents' jobs are considered essential. All of the materials are part of the library's existing collection and are cleaned with disinfectant before being used again. The library is also providing books with other YMCA affiliate locations. It is 5:09. We want to get a check of our forecast right now. Todd Clausen is standing by. Todd, good morning. What can we expect?
You know, a whole lot of cold when you walk out the door if you have to do so. And if you don't, I encourage you just to stay inside for a little bit longer than maybe you normally would before this morning walk, because temperatures, they are chilly across the area. We are talking about temperatures that are hovering right around the freezing mark in many locations. Skies are partly to mostly cloudy currently across the area. And once the sun comes up, we're not going to see that big jump in the temperature department. It's just going to be slow and steady here throughout the day today, but it's a dry day for us, and it's not nearly as windy as it was yesterday. So that's an improvement as far as that goes. Where there's not much improvement is the temperatures. Yesterday, we only got back up into the mid-40s for your afternoon highs, and that's exactly where we will be later on this afternoon, about 49 in Columbus, 45 the high temperature today in Kokomo as well as Muncie. We'll talk more about your extended forecast and when we finally could see some warmer temperatures work in here coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues.
New tonight on ABC.
Well, IMPD and the city are encouraging the community to pay their respects to fallen officer Breanne Leith while maintaining social distancing. Her patrol car is now parked in front of East District headquarters on Shadeland Avenue near East Washington Street. You can drive by to honor Officer Leith's service, but you're asked to stay in your car. Funeral services are set for Thursday. They are not open to the public due to the pandemic. This morning, we are learning more about what led up to the shooting, though, that killed Officer Leith and wounded another woman. According to court documents, the suspect told officers he thought someone was trying to kill him. Leith and 3 other officers were called to this apartment on Edinburgh Square on a domestic violence report. 27-year-old Elias Dorsey opened fire when officers knocked on the door, hitting Leith in the head. Dorsey is facing charges for murder and attempted murder. In an unprecedented move, the Supreme Court will begin to hear major cases over the telephone. The docket includes cases involving religious freedom, Donald Trump's financial documents, and Electoral College. The change comes as a precaution because of the coronavirus pandemic. Starting next month, justices will be asking questions over the phone, but it will be unclear if there will be a video component. The U.S. Navy says a sailor who tested positive for COVID-19 on the USS Theodore Roosevelt has died of the disease. The sailor was admitted to the intensive care unit of a U.S. Navy hospital in Guam on Thursday. In addition, a U.S. defense says that 4 of the sailors from the ship were transferred to the hospital over the weekend for monitoring. So far, nearly 600 sailors on that ship have tested positive for the coronavirus. It is 5:15. New information about the government stimulus payments being sent to most Americans, and the White House is looking to create a task force to focus on revamping the U.S. economy. ABC's Alex Perche has all the details.
Today, the White House is expected to announce the creation of an economic task force, which sources say will likely include the president's senior advisor and son-in-law Jared Kushner and daughter Ivanka Trump, in addition to other cabinet officials and business leaders. It comes hours after Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin announced 80 million Americans will get their stimulus payments from the government this week, a $1,200 direct deposit for most people.
If you are a Social Security beneficiary, you do not need to do anything. You will get a direct deposit. If you have not filed and did not need to file a 2018 and 19 return, you can go to irs.gov now and enter your information and authenticate yourself.
Mnuchin also announcing the Paycheck Protection Program for small business owners is ahead of schedule, despite the delays reported with applications. Mnuchin saying they've distributed $230 billion in loans to more than 4,600 banks. He's now asking Congress for more money. Meanwhile, President Trump's economic advisor, Larry Kudlow, revealed his wife quickly applied for funding through the Small Business Loan Program to keep her art business afloat. Larry Kudlow's personal assets have been valued at up to $2 million. But White House officials say Kudlow's wife is a small business owner and private citizen and did not receive any special treatment. Alex Perche, ABC News, Washington.
Yeah, I gotta go to a task force meeting, but I'll do
Stores across the country are still surging to keep toilet paper on the shelves, but toilet paper companies in the U.S. are doing all they can to change that. On top of plants already running 24/7, they're reducing how many different types of toilet paper they're making to speed up manufacturing. Georgia Pacific is also working with packaging suppliers to get more materials, which is maximizing the number of deliveries it can ship from its facilities. The time right now is 5:17. We want to check in on our forecast today. It is a chilly one out there. Todd, what are the temperatures like right now?
You know, and that's the big weather headline, Lauren. The temperatures, as you mentioned, take a look. 25 in Peru, only 29 right now in Tipton. As you work your way south, it's just a little bit warmer, a little more in the way of cloud cover down here in southern locations, and that's why temperatures in the Bloomington and Bedford area are running in the mid-50s. Now, going forward in this forecast, as we work our way throughout the day today, temperatures are just going to slowly start to warm throughout the day into the 40s by about the noon hour, and then only about 45, 46 degrees for our high temperature later on this afternoon. So very much a winter-like feel compared to a spring-like feel here in the middle of April. And that leads me to my Takeout Tuesday forecast, because with these colder temperatures, soup always a good option. And there's an awesome little house, and get that? That's right. It's a house just south of downtown on Southeast Street, and that is the Bates Hendricks House Bar. It's open 2:30 to 8 o'clock on Saturday. If you drive past it quick, you'll probably miss it. It's on the west side of the street, and I hit the button a little too quick on that graphic, but we'll talk more about it at 6 o'clock as well. But they have a small menu right now, rotating soups. It's a husband and wife that own the business, and they'll bring the food right out to your car, and it's a great little spot. And you can check them out on Instagram if you see some of those soups to warm you up here over the course of the next few days. I think you are going to like them. Skies are trying to clear to the north. To the south, we are dealing with a little more in the way of cloud cover, but we're dry here this morning. All the precipitation that has moved out of the area, and that is good news, at least for today, because it'd be cold enough to snow across the area. Well, some of that precipitation does come in here during the day tomorrow, and that is going to result in the potential of some snow showers across the area, believe it or not. Tomorrow morning, we're back down into the 20s and 30s across the area as we go throughout the course of the day tomorrow. We're only back into the 40s just like today. There's no warming that's going to take place the next few days. But tomorrow, again, we add in the element of a few snow showers moving through the area. And you see those here moving through anywhere between 9 and 11 o'clock tomorrow. Shouldn't see much of anything in the way of accumulation with these as they make their way through the area. But then throughout the afternoon hours, we'll go over to some rain showers. So if you're trying to pick a day, somebody texted me yesterday, I have the option of taking a day off this week. Which day should I do it? Well, I had bad news for the person that texted me, and that's that no day is really this good this week until we get to the weekend. They're all kind of similar. They're all cold. Temperatures in the 30s in the morning, mid-40s in the afternoon. Friday's probably the worst day because the showers and snow showers will be the most numerous on that day. But then finally, we do start to warm up, Lauren, as we work our way into the weekend as temperatures get back up into the 50s and 60s.
All right, Todd, looking forward to that. For now, we'll take a look at your roads. If you are heading out the door early this morning, this is a look in the downtown area at the North Split, showing you this camera because you can see the barrels there on the left side of your screen that's blocking off the lanes that take you from 65 southbound over to eastbound I-70. This is a spot where eastbound I-70 starts the closure right here at the North Split downtown. It is closed completely all the way over to 465 on the east side for 30 days. The closure went in effect yesterday, and then on April 23rd, they're going to close the westbound lanes of I-70 on the east side as well. Keep that in mind. You can use local roads, maybe Washington Street, to take you over to the east side this morning. You can also take 65 south to 465 around the loop. Of course, we'll keep you updated if there are any delays. Sam Adams Brewery is expanding its program to help unemployed bar and restaurant workers impacted by the COVID-19 outbreak. The company says its Restaurant Strong Fund will expand from Massachusetts to 19 other states, though Indiana is not on this list. Michigan, Illinois, and Ohio were among those added. The goal is to give $1,000 to industry workers who lost their jobs. Sam Adams says the fund has raised more than $2.7 million so far. Mr. Worldwide is calling people to come together. Singer and rapper Pitbull releasing a new song that offers hope amidst the coronavirus outbreak. It's called I Believe That We Will Win, and it features lyrics about overcoming fear. According to Pitbull's Instagram account, proceeds from this song will also go towards COVID-19 relief efforts. And the Indianapolis Colts are getting a new look for the 2020 season. The team just announced a new secondary logo, primary ward mark, and jersey number design for its 37th season. The new design feature will go alongside the team's traditional horseshoe logo. The second logo will have an outline of the state of Indiana carved out of the C from the Colts' new ward mark. It's the team's new number design, and it will mirror the Colts uniforms from the 1950s and the 1960s. There you go. Time right now. now is 5:22. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Working for you.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. The time right now is 5:25. We are keeping you updated on traffic this morning. Everything's moving along up to speed here at the North Split. However, we know that we have those orange barrels there. You will not be able to continue to go eastbound on I-70 here from the downtown area that is closed for that major construction project. A full closure set to last through mid-May. All the ramps getting on I-70 in that area closed as well. So keep that in mind if that's part of your commute. Right now, we want to get another check of our forecast. Todd Clausen is standing by. Todd, it does not feel like spring out there.
No, it feels like the middle of winter, Lauren. Here we are just last week. Everybody was out and about enjoying temperatures near 80 degrees, and I had to change my grab before you go graphic here to put the heavy jacket back in. I thought I was done with it. I changed it to light or medium jacket just a week ago, and here we are talking about some very, very cold weather. You may need the sunglasses at times throughout the day today, but I think the biggest issue is these cold temperatures. Freeze warnings posted across the entire area as we have dipped down into the 20s and 30s across most of the area for current temperatures. Highs today only back up into the mid to upper 40s and nearly 20 degrees below normal in some locations for your afternoon highs. So make sure you bundle up. The good news is we are dry. It doesn't stay that way, though. We'll talk more about your extended forecast and your 7-day coming up in just a little bit.
Barrels of whiskey put on hold as they change production to help people stay healthy and save lives. I'm Rafael Sanchez. That story when I joined Todd and Lauren at 6 a.m. on Good Morning Indiana.
Today at 10 on RTV6. This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Now at 5:30, state leaders say Indiana's surge in COVID-19 cases will likely come later than originally predicted. What that means for the state's stay-at-home order. And with more people staying home for social distancing, there's more pressure on your plumbing. How local plumber is handling the surge in emergency calls. But before we get to those top stories here, it is 5:30. I want to welcome you into Good Morning Indiana. I'm Lauren Casey. Todd Clausen is standing by from home with a check of today's forecast. And Todd, I saw in the preview monitor here, things have not changed for you at home. Still having that Coca-Cola in the morning.
Sorry, I was getting a little caffeine kick there with my Coke Zero here this morning. You know, I don't have these monitors to see that I'm up next, so you caught me by surprise. But I'm here for you. Temperatures this morning are going to be chilly across the area. In fact, frosty for that matter. As you take a look at this graphic, I took this a couple years ago, I think, of the frost on the ground, and it's going to be very similar here this morning because these temperatures have dipped down into the 20s and 30s across the area. 25 right now in Peru, 31 in Indianapolis, 32 in Bloomington. But look at all these 20s to the north. Kokomo at 29, Logansport, Marion at 27 degrees. So this is one of the coldest mornings we have seen in quite a while, and that's why the freeze warnings are posted by the National Weather Service. These will go until 9 o'clock this morning. At that point, temperatures will be above freezing, and they'll drop the warning. However, it'll be coming back once again tomorrow, as well as we'll have another very, very cold stretch of weather. Here's your forecast for the day today. You'll be up to about 41 degrees by the noon hour. Eventually 45 degrees will be our high temperature. We'll toggle back and forth between partly to mostly cloudy skies today. It's a dry day. That's the good news, Lauren. Tomorrow, though, we could be talking about a little bit of snow in the forecast. More on that coming up in just a little bit.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Here's a look right now at your commute. This is on the southwest side, I-465, a view here near Man Road. Traffic is moving along just fine, eastbound and westbound. No major issues here to slow you down. New from overnight, one man is dead and a juvenile is in critical condition following a shooting on the city's northeast side. This happened at the Postbrook East Apartments just off East 42nd Street before 1 o'clock this morning. When officers arrived, they found 2 male victims. The adult man was pronounced dead at the scene. The juvenile was taken to the hospital in critical condition. Officers tell us that a third victim drove himself to the hospital. He is currently stable. Police say one of the victims told the officers they were being robbed. Right now, no suspect information has been given. The incident is still under investigation. Now to the very latest on the COVID-19 outbreak here in the state of Indiana. On Monday, the state health department reported 7 more deaths. That brings the total number of Hoosiers who have died from the coronavirus to 350. Indiana has recorded more than 8,200 cases of COVID-19 so far. More than 3,000 of those confirmed cases are here in Marion County. Indiana health officials now believe the surge in COVID-19 cases will come later than initially expected. Instead of mid to late April, they believe it will now be late April to early May. The change means these stay-at-home orders will likely be extended past May 1st. While models show social distancing seems to be paying off, State Health Commissioner Dr. Christina Bach says it is still important to stay home.
What this also means is that we can't relax our guard. Social distancing is still absolutely critical to our overall goal of making sure that we don't overcome our healthcare system.
Bach said that Marion County surge will likely come first and then the rest of the state. Taking a look now at the global numbers, there are now 1.9 million cases of COVID-19 worldwide and nearly 120,000 deaths. The U.S. has the most cases at more than 582,000. Spain, which has the second highest most cases, has already started to ease some of its social distancing measures, sending hundreds of thousands of people back to work. And some U.S. states are working to do the same, but the World Health Organization says lifting stay-at-home orders must be done cautiously.
While COVID-19 accelerates very fast, it decelerates much more slowly. In other words, the way down is much slower than the way up. That means control measures must be lifted slowly and with control. It cannot happen all at once.
In the U.S., new hotspots continue to pop up. The number of confirmed cases in Massachusetts spiked 21%. And Pennsylvania expects a surge this week after more than 2,800 new cases were reported Saturday. As we mentioned before, a group of states are preparing for a return to normalcy. Some governors on the East Coast are working on plans to reopen the economy. As John Lawrence reports, it's still unclear when that could happen and what that would look like.
Uncle Sam opening his wallet, starting to send out stimulus checks. 80 million Americans should receive payments this week. It's one of the first major steps taken to get the U.S. economy, battered by the COVID-19 pandemic, back up and running.
We will soon finalize new and very important guidelines to give governors the information they need to start safely opening their states.
A number of states on the East and West Coasts are working on plans to reopen, but there's no official timetable.
Do it carefully, do it slowly, and do it intelligently. More testing and more precautions.
That cautious attitude is shared by governors from both parties.
We must reopen in a way in which we are able to stimulate the economy while at the very same time ensuring that we contain the spread of COVID-19.
And an influential coronavirus model often cited by the White House predicts the pandemic could end by summer if social distancing continues through May.
It leads to a situation where every case is infecting less than one other case, and that means if you keep the course, you'll get transmission essentially down to zero.
Other experts say the model's projection, which only goes until August, is unlikely, if not impossible. I'm John Lawrence reporting.
It is 5:36 this morning. A call to action from IU Health to anyone who has beat COVID-19. The hospital is looking for survivors to donate their plasma, which they say could be filled with antibodies that could potentially fight this virus. Our Kelsey Anderson joins us live this morning with more details. Kelsey, good morning. It looks like we're having a few issues there with Kelsey's shot. We will continue to keep you updated. We can tell you that the plasma they are working on is supposed to save lives, and Kelsey will have more details on that story coming up for us here this morning. Well, there are many essential businesses still up and running during the governor's stay-at-home order. One of those, plumbers and crews, are working quite a bit more than usual right now if you're staying home. Our Alyssa Donovan has all the details.
I spoke to the owner of a local plumbing company, and he says that since the stay-at-home order went into place in Indiana, the amount of calls his crews are going to has doubled. Really? Jack Hope owns Hope Plumbing, which is considered an essential business during this time. Hope says that has been proven to be a good call. His technicians are reporting to more emergent plumbing requests than ever. On a normal day, a crew might visit 2 customers, but now they're stopping at 4 homes each day to assess issues. Hope says with people spending more time at home, plumbing systems are simply being used more than they typically would be. Some of the top calls they're receiving are clogged drains and broken water heaters.
Just because people are home and they're using their systems way more than they're used to, they're maxing out capacities, they're turning water on and off, the kids are turning water on and off.
Hope says the best advice he can give at this time, keep an eye on your kids to make sure they're not putting anything down the pipes. And know where your water shutoff valve is, just in case there's an emergency. Hope plumbing crews are also utilizing gloves when they enter people's homes right now. They're also washing down and wiping down surfaces as they move through a house. I'm Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Alyssa, thank you. The time right now is 5:38. We want to get back out to our Kelsey Anderson right now, who has more information on how IU Health is working to get people to donate plasma, people who have beat COVID-19, with the hope that the antibodies could fight this virus. Kelsey, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning, Lauren. So this is an investigative treatment method that is being tested across the country, and doctors believe that using the plasma from people who have recovered from COVID-19 could help those people who are still battling it. This method has been used before with success. Plasma was used for the SARS epidemic and H1N1 with no vaccine right now. Doctors are hoping this will save lives. That's why they want anyone who has survived COVID-19 to look into donating plasma. If you've beat the virus, you are filled with antibodies that can help others to fight off the virus. We spoke with Dr. Sarah Dilley, who is donating her own plasma after beating COVID-19.
Since we don't have a medication that's directed directly against this virus, and since we don't have a vaccine yet, the antibodies from my plasma should be able to help another patient fight off the virus.
Now, if it works, doctors believe this method will save a lot of lives. Donors must be able to prove they had a COVID-19 diagnosis with a positive documented laboratory test. They must also be symptom-free for at least 28 days. Now, if you are someone who has battled COVID-19 and beaten it and you want to donate your plasma, head over to the IndyChannel.com or the RTV6 News app for more information on how you can donate your plasma. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
All right, it's a chilly morning for us here across central Indiana. Let me take you through the Storm Team 6 drive-through here and kind of show you what's on the menu for the day today, considering that it is, of course, Takeout Tuesday. Well, this morning, temperatures are featuring a freeze warning out there, and we're only right around 33 degrees by the time we get to your lunch hour. There's not really going to be a whole lot in the way of warming that takes place. We only climb up into the low 40s with breezy conditions, but we don't really have that gusty wind like we had during the day yesterday. That is the good news. Then as we go into the dinner hour, after briefly getting up to about 46 degrees, once that sun starts to set, temperatures will cool off pretty quickly. So we'll be right around that 43-degree temperature for the dinner hour as well. Of course, Takeout Tuesday. And that's a reminder to support your local restaurants here across central Indiana. Use this opportunity to maybe give them a little bit of business. It's a partnership called We're Open with RTV6. And you can find that at the IndyChannel.com/open. All the list of restaurants that are open here during this pandemic. That's your drive-through forecast. We'll talk more about your extended forecast coming up in a little bit.
Plant-powered drink. Veg up.
The White House panel that could help determine how the country is reopened is expected to be formally announced as early as today. The council has already begun meeting behind closed doors. The team will work separately from the coronavirus task force led by Vice President Mike Pence. However, there could be some overlapping participants. The president says the new council will also include committees that represent fields like manufacturing and transportation. The panel is not expected to include any health officials. The FDA has approved the first saliva test to to help diagnose COVID-19. A team of researchers from Rutgers University created the test. They hope it will expand testing options and reduce the risk of infection for healthcare workers. The current COVID screening method requires a swab from the patient's nose or throat, which means close contact and a new mask and pair of gloves each time. The saliva test could also mean conserving more protective gear. For now, it will only be available to hospitals and clinics affiliated with the New Jersey College. It is 5:46. Advocates for people with disabilities say that parents have voiced concerns over the switch to homeschooling. To help, the ARC says that parents should try to mirror the in-school setting. In addition, keep the instructions consistent, try to set a routine along with breaks, and also minimize household distractions. Students with special needs may be more vulnerable to distractions in general, which can make learning difficult. Don't be afraid to ask the school district or teacher for help if you need it.
They're really there to help, and they want to see the students succeed. And I'm sure that their concerns are just as great as yours as far as progress goes. So don't hesitate to reach out and hop on a call. Even suggest that maybe you get on a webinar and have them model how they were teaching that student if it was something that was more hands-on.
The ARC says it also heard concerns that students with special needs may lose progress that they made in school. They say you should treat it like summer break, find out about what has worked in person at school, and transfer that to the home. The time right now is 5:47. We want to check in with our forecast and Todd Clausen. Todd, what can we expect?
You know, it's all about the cold temperatures here, unfortunately, Lauren. Not only today, I wish it was just a one-day deal, but it's going to be several days in a row that we are going to be dealing with these temperatures that are going to be not just a couple degrees below normal, but well below normal. Some snow showers move in tomorrow. It's not really till this weekend that we bring a warm-up into this forecast. So we have to be patient here this week, as it definitely has more of a winter-like feel than what we would normally be experiencing here in the middle of April. 25 degrees. That's the current temperature up in Miami County and Peru. 29 in Tipton as you work your way south. 31 in Indianapolis. 32 in Bloomington. So everybody now is approaching freezing or below. I do think you probably even get there in Bedford and Sullivan and Terre Haute, where the temperatures are hovering just above freezing. You'll probably drop off another couple degrees here this morning before the sun comes up. Once that sun does come up, it's going to be a slow process, but we'll get the temperatures back up into the mid-40s. We'll toggle back and forth between partly to mostly cloudy skies day today, but it is going to be a quiet day of weather. The wind will not be as much of an issue. It's still going to be a little breezy out there, but we won't have those gusty winds like we had yesterday. And the satellite radar picture shows quiet conditions at this hour across central Indiana, but down to the south, where they dealt with tornadoes just 24 to 48 hours ago, depending on where you are. Now they're dealing with snow in Oklahoma City and northern Arkansas. So it's not just us that is in this cold weather pattern. We are dealing with chilly temperatures all across much of the country at this point. As far as temperatures go, we should be up into the low 60s at this time of year for your afternoon highs. But look at the trend. We stay below 50 degrees at least through Friday for your highs, and then we get a little bit of a spike on Saturday. But it's really not until Sunday into next week that we bring the 60-degree temperatures back into this forecast. So we'll have to wait it out a couple days here with this chill that's in the air. Tomorrow morning, very similar to this morning, a freeze warning will be in effect tomorrow morning as well, just like it is this morning, with temperatures hovering right around the freezing mark. And then as we work our way throughout the day tomorrow, we are going to see temperatures that are going to be climbing up into the 40s for afternoon highs. But tomorrow, look at this, we add the element and the potential of some snow showers here across the area. So that is something that we don't want to have to talk about, but unfortunately we will have to talk about here as we work our way throughout the day tomorrow. Coming up in just a little bit, I'll show you your 7-day planning forecast when we do see the warm-up as we finally get into the weekend. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Here is a look right now at traffic. This is on the north side, I-465 and Allisonville Road. You can see traffic here. It's pretty quiet this morning. We'll continue to keep you updated on any crashes or delays, but it should be smooth sailing here on the north side. Carnival Cruise Line has extended its pause on operations through June 26th. 6. This is in response to the coronavirus pandemic. Previously, Carnival said it would halt cruises through May 11th. The company is also canceling all Sunrise cruises out of New York for the rest of the year. The cruise line says impacted customers have received an email with instructions to claim their cancellation offer or refund. We'll continue to keep you updated on that story. Fried chicken, fresh baked rolls, perfectly baked pies. Sounds pretty great meal. Even at this hour, sounds pretty good. After the break, how one Indy area family restaurant has it all ready for takeout. That story's coming up.
Call EverDry Waterproofing today.
We're Open Indy is RTV6's campaign shining a light on businesses that are still serving the community during the coronavirus outbreak. If you have a taste for a home-cooked meal but you don't feel like cooking at home, our Brad Brown shares what's on the menu at a classic cafeteria.
During all of this stay-at-home time, people are flocking to comfort food. Well, now you can get all of that to go for any meal, any night of the week at MCL restaurants.
Our core customer comes in 5 to 7 days a week. We have some customers that come in 2 times a day. So to still be able to feed them and for them to still come in is really good. They're happy we're open. They're happy to see us.
Family owned and operated for 70 years. Many of the MCL recipes remain unchanged for 3 generations. And all of those favorites, the mashed potatoes, the fried chicken, the pies, are still ready on the MCL menu.
The funny thing is, the favorites were the favorites before. People are still coming in for stuffed chicken breast. They're still coming in for fried chicken. They're still coming in for macaroni and cheese and green beans. That hasn't. The favorites have not changed. They're the core that we've had since we've opened.
Staffing has been adjusted with the dining rooms closed. Chef Ian is making all the famous cloverleaf rolls and baked goods for several restaurants out of this one kitchen.
When this first happened, that was my job, is to scale down all the recipes so that we're not cooking in these huge batches and we're doing 5 or 6 orders at a time, just to make sure that they're still getting a fresh product and not one that's been cooked all day.
But it's a continued dedication to their customers that's keeping MCL going strong.
You don't really get into food service to make a ton of money. You do it because it's your passion, and everybody that works for us has a passion to serve the customer.
MCL has 5 Indianapolis area restaurants. They're also located in Avon and Carmel. They do continue to have their daily Blue Plate specials as well. And on Thursdays, you can get a slice of pie for 99 cents. This week, it's apple pie. Working for you, Brad Brown, RTV6.
All right, Brad, thank you so much. All right, Todd, that sounds pretty good right now. Is anything cooking at the Clausen kitchen over there?
You know, I might have to go throw something in the oven or something here just to eat through the 6 o'clock hour. That looked so good. All right, you might need something to warm you up here this morning. Take a look at your 7-day planning forecast here. And it's a very chilly one, at least all the way through Friday. Today's dry at 46 degrees. Tomorrow there could be a few snow showers around, little to no accumulation during the morning hours. After another very cold start. 47 Wednesday afternoon. A little warmer on Thursday with sunshine. It won't feel as bad, but then more rain and snow showers on Friday, some of which those snow showers in northern locations could put down some minor accumulation. Then finally inching back closer to normal as we get into the day on Sunday with high temperatures that will be topping off in the low 60s, and then we'll stay in the 60s to start next week.
Barrels of whiskey put on hold, changing production to now a substance that can keep people healthy and save lives. I'm Rafael Sanchez. That story next on RTV6.